More signs of mistrust between the U.S. intelligence community and President Trump. U.S. spies are withholding sensitive information from the president over fears it could be leaked or otherwise compromised, according to officials involved. WSJ reporter Shane Harris joins us now with this Wall Street Journal exclusive. Hi, Shane. In your story, you report that the mistrust stems from the contact the president's team has had with the Russian government. Is that right?
That's right. And these contacts that have been under investigation now for some time and extend back to during the campaign. This is what is giving people a lot of pause because there's still a lot that we don't know about what contacts and the nature of those contacts that people in the president's orbit had with Russian officials. And already we saw Mike Flynn, the national security advisor, have to resign over misleading people about the nature of his contacts with the Russian ambassador.
So there's a lot of unknown. But does Trump's own criticism of the intelligence community play a role here as well, do you think? I mean, as you just mentioned, the president did seem to blame intelligence agencies for National Security Advisor Michael Flynn's downfall, writing on Twitter, "The real scandal here is that classified information is illegally given out by intelligence like candy. Very un-American."
That's right. Yeah, and we can go back even to the campaign when he, after the election, I should say, and the transition, when he openly questioned whether or not the conclusion by the intelligence agencies that Russia was involved in election season hacking was being leaked to discredit the legitimacy of his election. He compared intelligence officials to using tactics that came out of Nazi Germany. He appeared at the CIA in front of their memorial wall, which is this very sacred space, and gave a speech boasting about the size of the crowd at his inauguration. There's a cumulative effect to this. In the intelligence community, many people feel that the president is openly hostile towards them, and they are reacting to that.
Now, Shane, can you then give us an idea of the types of information intel officials have withheld from the White House?
Yeah, and this is an important point, too. There is no indication that something has been withheld that is of a critical national security nature. They're not withholding information about progress of North Korea's nuclear missile development program. This is about sources and methods of information that is used to gather intelligence. And we should say there are instances in which intelligence agencies don't reveal that to the president or to a lawmaker simply because they don't need to know it, and it's better to just keep it under wraps and keep it tightly held. But what I'm told is that there have been these instances where sources and methods have not been conveyed because of this anxiety about both this hostility to the intelligence community and the contacts with Russia. So there's what is a sometimes, a not uncommon activity now has a different motivation to it.
Right. I can see that. So there is sort of a traditional withholding of information. This is a little different than that. So
that's right.
You spoke with current and former officials familiar with this matter, but the White House disputes the report, and a spokesman for the Office of Director of National Intelligence told the Journal any suggestion that the U.S. intelligence community is withholding information and not providing the best possible intelligence to the president and his national security team is not true.
Right. Well, the people who were involved in this process are not necessarily at the level of some of these people making these comments. I don't think there's any reason why the White House would particularly know, of course, that sources and methods info was being withheld. The whole point is it's being withheld. They wouldn't necessarily know about it. But the people who I've been in contact with have direct knowledge of this situation. And again, we're talking about fairly subtle actions here. This is not something that is being decided at the level of the CIA director to change the daily briefing that the president gets in the Oval Office. It's a bit more nuanced than that.
Sure. Now, is there any indication that the intelligence community wants to sort of patch things up?
I think a lot of people in the intelligence community want to patch things up. But this week, with President Trump coming out in the press conference with Prime Minister Netanyahu and talking about leaks and seeming to blame that for the fact that he fired Michael Flynn for misleading people in the White House, it is again dredging up these bad feelings that were really prevalent during the transition and right after the inauguration. So people want to patch this up and they want things to settle out, and that's still happening. But still a lot of turbulent waters here, to say the least.
Absolutely. And thank you so much, Shane Harris, for all your reporting on this turbulence. Thank you for that.
Thanks.